Many years ago, I happened to spend a Tisha B'Av in Belgium, in a city called Antwerp that happens to have a large Jewish population. And when we finished davening Maariv and reading the Eicha and the Kinos, I was walking back to the apartment I was staying. And on my way back, I met another Jew, a Chassid. And when he saw me, he looked in my eyes and says, Rabbi, I want to wish you a good Yontiv. And I looked at him like he came from a different planet. Good Yontiv on Tisha B'Av? The two Beit HaMikdash were destroyed on this day. The Makom of Shekhinah, the place where I felt so close to the Ribono Shel Olam, is no longer there. People were killed or forced into slavery, and you wishing me a good Yontiv? And he looked at me and says, Rabbi, I feel your struggle. But let me also show you a different dimension of Tisha B'Av. Well, the Shulchan Aruch of Yosef Karo writes in the introduction to Tisha B'Av, he says, Mishenichnas Av me'atzim b'simcha. That when we enter the month of Av, we should decrease, minimize our source of joy, simcha. But why mild? Why minimize? Mivato simcha. Forget about simcha, happiness. We're going through it. We're commemorating the tragedy. So why using lashon of mild? So he told me about an interesting minhag that brought down by the Sachachev Rebbe, the Heilige Avram Bronstein, that writes in the Tshuvas Avnei Ezer that the Hasidim used to spend those 3 weeks, the Bnei Mitzorim, and were learning the Hilchos Yontiv. And I looked at him and says, with all the respect to the Sachachev Rebbe, wouldn't it make more sense to perhaps learn Hilchos Lashon Hara or Hilchos B'nadam Lechavera, B'nadam L'Makom? Why Hilchos Yontiv? And he looked at me and says that that's exactly the point. Because even though right now we're going through a tragedy, we're commemorating the tragedy that is so close to us, even though it happened so many years ago, we should never forget the meal, the real joy that the Tisha B'Av can be all about. That according to the Medrash, Mashiach will be born on Tisha B'Av. And this is also how that's the meal of the simcha that we're hoping and praying, that we're reading in many kiddos on Shvasa B'Tamas, on Tisha B'Av, we're saying, Hafach lanu Yeshua v'nechama, Hafach lanu yom simcha v'sosan, that this day should be overruled and be filled with the salvation, that Yeshua's Hashem Kerev Ayin, that the Hashem's salvation can come in the blink of an eye. But also Hafach lanu the Sason v'Simcha, that this day should be really all about Simcha and happiness. That we're hoping that, hopefully even this Tisha B'Av, or at least the next one, that we will no longer hiding from each other, not greeting each other on Tisha B'Av, fasting and commemorating the tragedy, but really Tisha B'Av should become a day of joy and happiness, where we gather together, all together in Yerushalayim Kodesh, and have a schus to wish each other a good Yontif and a wonderful day.